Hey ladies, welcome to the very first episode of the Little Red Book Society podcast. I'm your host, Rebecca Barr.
And I'm also your host, Gemma Clegg.
Yes! Oh my God, I'm so excited for the magic that is about to unfold for anybody that's listening or watching on YouTube. We are so excited for this episode. We have just been chatting absolute rubbish, preparing ourselves mentally, emotionally, spiritually to record this episode because we couldn't think how there would be any way that we could keep this in a succinct manner. But thank you so much for joining us. Poor Gemma's like, how do I follow that? I hope you weren't intending for this to be like super professional.
I know, because I was like, we're both so chatty. It's like, as well, are you going to pause? Is it my turn? Is it your turn?
You're gonna get a wedding edgeways.
But yeah, oh my goodness, like so excited for this because everything that we've been doing is just so showing this like massive change in direction in business and in also in our lives. Like it's a massive turning point. So having more connection with real women and having real conversations and business based on authenticity rather than all of the bullshit that you can come across, right? And we were like,
we were like debating beforehand. We were like, do you think that we should post this as a cleaner episode or explicit? Because I don't really know what's going to come out of my mouth right now. We're like, what, a minute in? Gemma's already throwing like BS, yeah, BS bombs all over the place.
I know, it definitely should be explicit, definitely, 100%.
So for us to kind of set the scene of like this one time at band camp, like how this became a thing. So essentially we are the co-founders of the Little Red Book Society, which is a vibrant global community of like networking for female entrepreneurs, like heart-led, trailblazing, beautiful souls, like women in business. So we have created that incredible container for women where, you know, women supporting women is more than a hashtag, but where we can really proactively and intentionally support each other to grow our purpose-led businesses. So that's kind of the context of this podcast series. And our intention is to just really inspire you guys, connect with you all to share some of our own experiences and wisdom, if there is any in there.
Like, but also the bloopers too, right? It's the whole journey. It's seeing everything, appreciating it, the business and ourselves in our wholeness. Like it's not just the, you know, so much on social media. It's all like, oh yeah, I made $5,000 this morning in my pants, like before I even had breakfast. Whereas actually, there's just so much more to it, and providing like these deep conversations as well as the inspirational stories is really what changes like how we feel in our businesses, because our businesses are all extensions of our lives and who we are and expressions of ourselves, and we should be fully expressed. Like, you know, even though we said we're a container, we don't want to be contained. We want to be in our wholeness. We want the whole,
yes,
you know, the whole
I feel a Madonna track coming on here where it's like express yourself. Yes, hands up if you're a child of the 80s. Oh my God, I was singing to Black Velvet earlier in the car, and I was with my partner, and he was like, what is this? I was like, well, you clearly did not grow up in the 80s. You do not know the power of a power ballad. Like, what?
Oh my goodness, I love a power ballad. Love it. It's so good for you as well. Like, gets so much out when you just like really let loose.
100%. And I think that definitely this is because this is equally, it's not just about yourself, but it's also, you know, we're super spiritual. So you'll get these really weird like left turns where suddenly something goes down a spiritual rabbit hole. Hopefully, if that is your jam, like, you are welcome here. We are your people. We are both certainly very connected to our own intuition and divine feminine energy and all of the things. And I guess for us as well, it's not just about changing yourself and your perspective and giving yourself permission to be who you were meant to be, but it's also about, this is how we create movements, this is how we change societal norms, and we really push things forward for us and all of the generations that come behind us. So that's what 100%. I'm really excited about too.
Maybe we should go through all the things we want to do then, all the changes, because like one of the things that we really wanted to change was this like anti-hustle kind of approach to business, that actually there's times when we have gone on an into a networking or connection event, and we've got clients like just from being ourselves. And sometimes it's really difficult on social media to kind of be yourself, because you're face. I know that I do. I put on this weird face whenever I go in front of a camera. I don't know if you've noticed, but my lips kind of go, like kind of purr. I can't help it. My subconscious automatically goes, you're on camera. When it's just like a group of women and we're all just saying, like, I do this, I do that, what do you do? And we're genuinely interested in what each other does. And like, we all want to know. Like, that's when we come into our power. And when we're in those arenas where, you know, quite often we're a bit like, oh, I do this, but you know, it's just this little thing. It's like, no, let's have a place where we can really, really be in our power. And when we are in our power, we attract so much more from, you know, from that. So
and from that place of alignment, that's the thing. It's not about just like more for the sake of more. So as you mentioned, like we're not that like greed is good, like Wall Street mindset where it's like, let's just earn a shit ton of money by doing absolutely nothing. Because both of us, I think, and for most like heart-led women in business, like our work really inspires us, it drives us. Like we want to do what we want to do, but we just want to make sure, you know, we're getting paid to do what we want to do, you know. So it's like the balance. So yeah, I definitely
making it fun as well. Like, how much fun is it? It's like, oh yeah, so now I have a business where I kind of go to these events and I talk about my really passionate about my mission with loads of really awesome women who just want to build us all up rather than knock us down or like steal competition, because we believe so much in community over competition. Collaboration wins every time, and there's no such thing as there's not enough for all of us. There's enough for all of us. Like, we're both very much into believing in abundance, right? So, you know, how cool is it if we can kind of spend our days doing that and then also build our businesses, have loads of fun, get more clients, get more referrals, become that go-to person for whatever it is that your niche is. And you're doing that in a way that just feels so freaking good. Like,
where it is you ultimately in your power, isn't it? Because you're not trying to cultivate this online persona of who you need to be. It always cracks me up because I didn't think that I had that about me. I didn't think I had, because you know what I'm like, I can't help but like I'd say what I think. I'm a manifesting generator with ADHD, so literally who knows what's going to come out of this mouth. As is Gemma, which is probably why we're like, you're like super, you know, like in your power, so am I. But I didn't think that I had that persona because I can't, my brain can't think quick enough to like, you know, put that on. But if ever there was like a moment where I'd slip into it, it's fine. I've got my brother. He is the one person that will always keep me grounded because he loves to like heckle me on my stories. And I'm like, why are you following me? Like, why are you here? And he's like, hi guys. Oh, hey ladies.
And then when I get heckled, it's like, hi lovely. I'm like, oh gosh. I don't know where that came from, but it's something that was birthed when I became a female entrepreneur. It's like, hi lovely. when I was a kid, it was sweetie. I used to call the kids sweetie, and now I call everyone lovely. But that's the thing, we want lovely people, right?
This is it. Like with NLP suppositions, like we're trying to like presume that you're a good person.
Obviously,
it's so funny. I would never have said lovely in corporate. I think it sounds really West Country, and obviously I'm from the like South Coast originally. So the last thing I want to do, like words like lush, like literally like make my eye twitch, and I'm really conscious about words I use because I got told that I sounded like a farmer once. So I'm definitely not going to be like, hi,
nothing wrong with being a farmer.
Well, this is it. I need to own it, don't I? But now I just get Essex. Are you from Essex? I'm like, I'm a half Watford girl, maybe. Maybe. But yeah, so we're so excited because genuinely we've both taken like, I'd say quite different routes in terms of entrepreneurship. So mine for me personally was you know, I had a corporate career in HR, and then I accidentally became an entrepreneur when like literally like my world fell apart. My mum, I was a single parent at the time, thought I had like my life all planned out, and the universe was like, we'll see about that. And literally like my mum was my main childcare giver. She suddenly had a stroke, and then I was instantly unemployable, which now it cracks me up because obviously since COVID I probably would have been okay, but it's all about the divine timing. So I ended up buying a business, I've been in business now for over 8 or 9 years, started in physical brick and mortar businesses, and I've slowly transitioned online. And also found myself in the process, which is great. I've slowly transitioned into a bad bitch, which has been really nice as a byproduct. What was your experience? Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing the parallels. I mean, not exactly the same, but I was a teacher for over 10 years on the path to becoming a head teacher, and then had my lovely little kid. And after that, my whole world fell apart. Like my health fell apart, like everything was just like, it was so bad. I got a hormonal disorder called PMDD and couldn't work because like 2 weeks of the month I couldn't function. So then I was like, okay, what do I do? What can I do? I've left teaching. So I ended up going into e-commerce, and then working that out somehow, and like doing really well with that. But then COVID hit, so the shop then wasn't viable anymore. So then I had to kind of translate my skills, and in that process I actually overcame my own hormonal disorder without the help of all the 10 doctors and gynecologists that I saw. I did it on my own and so was so passionate about it that I then became a hormonal practitioner and a hypnotherapist, and worked with women to help them overcome their hormonal disorders. Now, I pivoted massively, and I understood, and I was doing really well with my e-commerce, and had to suddenly have to learn a whole different side of business and digital marketing. But that's the thing, when you have your own business and you're doing everything yourself, like you have to learn everything. You have to learn content writing, you have to learn branding, you have to learn funnels, you have to learn all the things. And actually realized I was a massive tech geek.
It's like this inner like thing was
Yeah.
released.
Oh,
I love it.
I know. It's like that, my inner geek was just so happy. And I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna own this and just be like a little tech witch that waves magic on tech, and just everything about it was really, really I just really enjoyed it. It's like really creative as well. So then obviously started nurturing both sides of the business. I've got both parts of that personality coming through, and just building that up over time. Met you as well, which was just incredible. So I was a guest coach, and obviously loved that Rebecca was just like, you were just so you have so much integrity. Like you really want to help women from the inside out in their wholeness and holistically. And I really think that is where business coaching, business masterminds are going, is that we're realizing that health and wealth go hand in hand, because without your health you have no wealth. And like joining those two things together is just so important, because we've seen along the journey like how many people have burnt out and in that roller coaster, and by marrying the two, it's just so important. And there's nothing more important for your health than having a really good community. Like we get all of our oxytocin from like chats. And there were times I remember the first time that I was like, okay, I've got to learn digital marketing. I was just sat on a computer crying into my keyboard going, this is so like
hard.
and like doing it all on my own. And then the best parts in my business journeys have been when I found my tribe, like when I found people and I've gone, you just get it, you get what I'm talking about, you get the struggle, because it's a whole different set of struggles. And also when you win, it's a whole different set of winning. Like when you've got like some amazing dream soul clients, when your launch goes spectacularly well, as but both sides, the celebration, no one really understands what you're on about. You're like, yeah, my funnel's like working really well, and they're like, what is that?
Your partner's like, what?
A new menstrual cup or something?
like you don't understand, I added a trick wire offer. Like, why is nobody clapping for this?
But that's where, that's why we birthed this, because we were just like, we need connection, especially now that there's, how AI on the rise, you've got bots everywhere. It's like, are you even real? Like, are you a real person? And, everyone's got this DM scripts going, hi, so would you want support with that? And it's like, you don't even know me. Like, let's get to know each other first. Let's really build some proper relationships. Let's have some deep and meaningfuls. And that's where the society was born from, wasn't it? It was from this thirst for real connection. And from connection, actually, we can then, like, how many like tens of thousands of business have we transferred to other people we've known?
Oh my God, I've literally had like 6 figures in the last 12 months. And I think that's always, because for me, it isn't about just my legacy, it's my clients' legacies. It's the soul's mission for me. And I don't care if you win and I don't win, like there's enough for all of us. So that's the thing where I think our values really met, was the fact that it's sustainable business that we both feel really excited about. As women, like we are intelligent, resourceful, incredibly creative, resilient fucking beings. We can make money. That is no problem, but doing it in a way that actually plays to your natural strengths, that feels, aligned, and doesn't mean that you have to leave your soul at the door. That to me is what's really important in business, so that you can be doing this not as a pocket money side hustle business, so that you can really step into your power and as I did, like evolve this inner bad bitch, but also so that you can be doing it in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and changing the game entirely for everybody else that comes up, and pushing the boundaries of societal norms. And I think that's where we've really like just met, like it's the meeting of the minds, isn't it? And also in the masculine side and the strategic side, for me, I'm a mum with 5 kids. I don't have a lot of time to work on my business, as Gemma knows. She's like, yeah, bitch, you've got a to-do list, like out your fucking ass.
Get back to your fellow.
And this is the thing. And I've also had periods where I've had like 6 months off my social media. And it's like, actually, my business still grew anyway, because one thing I think having a physical business versus an online business teaches you is that everything is relationships. And there is always a way. And sometimes the online space can feel very artificial for that reason, because I'm a people person and I like to just get in a room and have a conversation. That's always given me a great sense of conversion. But where this really cemented for me is that I went to a retreat in LA a few years ago, and one of my mentor at the time was just kind of reeling off this list of like alumni of her mastermind, and equally her own journey to success to like 8-9 figures. And what was really interesting was that it was like so many people had come up with her, like the names that she were mentioning, it's like they were all synonymous, like they'd all literally piggybacked each other's success and profile and just taken each other for the ride. And that's what I love so much. And it was like, how interesting is this, that these people that have all kind of, just seemingly exploded at the same time, that are supporting each other, like they get it. They understand that this is how business works. And typically this is how men get it. Like, we all have that even common saying about a boys club, like men have always done this. They've always stuck together to support the people that they know. People buy from people as well. And yet as women coming into the online space, we are just automatically on the back foot, because we're told that we can't trust any other women. That's certainly been my experience. I've been absolutely like traumatized by women my whole life, but you have to be the change that you want to see.
And it's also so brave of you that you continued like to be so open, like and we are like, otherwise we wouldn't have been friends, because you'd be like, you get out.
Yeah, but get out my DMs, woman. But this is the thing, I'm a money mindset mentor. If I don't believe in abundance, then what the hell am I talking about? That's the logic that just blows my mind, that there's so many women that say that they're like, I'm a money mindset mentor, and yet they're so scared of anybody else having success around them.
100%. And it's all about finding that tribe. It was like that for me in my retreat in Portugal, when I first met, and I was in a room with 20 other like female entrepreneurs who are really doing the things that like had all of their missions, and you're just like, oh my goodness, like there's so many women who are really good, doing really good things, who do want to connect and do believe in collaboration. And it doesn't need to be this, we don't need to do it alone. We don't need to be in our own corner just going, no, I can't share this. And even with people that we do similar things, like that makes it even more interesting a discussion, because you can get really, really into
we can go way down the Kajabi rabbit hole.
So it's great. And that idea of having our own little book of contacts is just so precious. And when you think about it like that, it's like, okay, like who are my people, who could I rise with? Then it just changes the game, doesn't it? Completely changes it.
Yeah, and it makes it more fun, and it keeps you in the game for longer, keeps you accountable, and equally, reprograms your mindset for success. Because if somebody that looks like you, maybe with similar experiences as you, is having this incredible success, rather than being, triggered and jaded by that success, when you really are aligned with those people, then it just inspires you to want to do even bigger and better things. I think that's definitely what we're noticing already with the women that have been attracted to this opportunity, is that they are real trailblazers. They are women that are really, they know who they are, and they are not afraid or intimidated by other women. They're excited to celebrate and collaborate with other women. And for us, that's the feminine way of doing business.
Absolutely. And like asking like questions so that they, you know, because you're actually interested rather than just kind of dropping your details and just running
Yeah.
away and going, this is what
Yeah.
I do, see you later, you like refer to me, but you know, run
Toodaloo.
Googles and like
Yeah.
those like posts in Facebook groups. And it's like, no, let's actually get to know each other. And then it's I think sometimes we're programmed to think, especially as women, that it's got to be hard. Like it's
Yeah.
got to be really, really hard. Like we've got to like post every day on social media. We've got to do all the things. We've got to do more, do more, do more. And actually, it's like, no, we just need to be more ourselves, be more in our power, and put ourselves into these in arenas where we can shine. And then
Yeah.
it can be easy. And I think that it's, you know, because a lot of people do have a hard time when they come into the online space, then they think that's the only way, it can only be hard. And actually, no, it can be really easy and it can be really freaking fun.
Yeah. And we're hoping to demystify some of the behind the scenes of the online space as well. One thing that I really pride myself on as a mentor with my clients is the full transparency approach. Like if I've created an opportunity for myself, you best believe I'm going to share that with you too, because when I win, you win, and you win, I win. Like
Yeah.
everybody wins when we all do. So I think that's also what you can expect from this podcast, is that we'll be sharing the behind the scenes of the things that are working and not working in real time. One thing that I noticed again coming into the online space is that people love to add like smoke and mirrors, almost like the Wizard of Oz, like this big cloud of mystery around what they're doing in their launches. That means that they're getting incredible success and you're not. So then we're left kind of looking inside thinking it's something with us, when the reality is like, girl's got like a Facebook ad spend that could pay for a mortgage, or she's got a
Oh my
team of like
goodness.
20. Like, let's just be honest.
Don't get me started about this.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. This is what drew me away. When I had like the least success in my business was when I was pulled away from my intuition
Yeah.
and pulled away with thinking that's not good enough. You need to do this more like me and more like me and
Yeah.
more like this way and this cookie cutter strategy. And actually, when you think about it, like, actually, I knew what I was doing all the way along. Like, if you just go back to your intuition, quite often, that's when you're just going to be. For me, for certain, there's not been this like one thing that, you know, what's the one thing? And I'm like, actually, the only one thing that I can possibly say is relationships. Because
Yeah.
you've got a
Yeah.
relationship and you talk about your stuff, like what you're passionate about, and you become the go-to person for somebody. Like you're in somebody's little book. Like if you're
Yeah.
in their book, you're fine. Like you're gonna
Yeah.
have, your business could burn down tomorrow, and if you've got those relationships, then
Yeah.
you could start it.
Yeah, if your Facebook gets hacked,
Like,
if you don't have an email list, if you've got a network, like generally that's what happened to me. I didn't have social media and my business grew by 60% because of client referrals and relationships that I built in the entrepreneurial space. And I think that's why I feel so passionate about it, is because we've lived these values. It's also made it a hell of a lot more fun and definitely kept me in the game at times where I'm like, God, there's easier ways to make money. Like Asda's looking real attractive right now. Like these fucking idiots. Like, so that's what we're hoping to create for you guys. If you please subscribe and like the podcast, don't let this be like the best kept secret. Make sure that you share it with your business besties. We are all about the collaboration and the community and the goddamn fun in business. And we hope that you continue to enjoy this journey with us too.
amazing. You said everything I need to say.
Gemma's like,
yeah, you
wow.
got this down.
Thank you so much. And we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.
See you later.